The Harrier jump jets play a crucial role in Afghanistan. They're based at Kandahar airfield, ready to bomb the Taliban when ground troops come under attack. The squadron in charge of the jets is the Naval Strike Wing. They're on alert round the clock. 3 Harriers are already in the air. 5 are still on the ground. And in the ops room of GCAS, short for Ground Close Air Support, the pilot known as Tremors is up next.
Essentially what's happening today is all the assets that are airborne appear to be fighting. So as GCAS, we know that if any more fights crop up, or if any of them run out of munitions or fuel or both, then we're obviously the next to go. So we're sat here on tenterhooks waiting for the call to scramble.
Harriers travel in pairs, so Tremors has fellow pilot Nick standing by.
GCAS! GCAS! Scramble, scramble, scramble!
Tremors and Nick have got to get to their jets a mile down the runway. It's the only time they're allowed to break the 10-mile-an-hour speed limit.
What will be happening back at Ops is that they're putting together the mission pack for us. So as soon as we switch on the aeroplanes, all we've got to do is bell up on the frequency, and they will give us who it is, where we're going, who we're talking to, and what the nature of the fight is. And obviously, sadly, real-world events like helicopters passing in front of you have to be sort of factored in.
It's a busy airstrip, full of civilian and military aircrafts. The Harrier engineers have got the planes primed and ready to go. Air traffic control clears the runway. Fighter jets always take priority. They head for Helmand, 140 miles away. It'll only take them 15 minutes to get to the battle zone. Now, the Harrier engineers just wait for the planes to come back. But they have a few things to keep them amused. Like their pet hedgehog, Dave.
Oh, he's partial to a bit of fruitcake as well.
Fruitcakey.
Yeah.
Devours in about a minute. Yeah, he just comes out and sits around here until someone sees him and he'll...
Have you tried him on a Boston cream yet?
Nah, not yet.
Engineer Art is painting a mural to mark the squadron's tour of Afghanistan.
I thought go for a nautical theme, including some nautical tattoos. Get a bit of identity back for the Navy.
Some days it's really quiet and you've got nothing on, so today's not been really that much at all. There's just been a few sorties going up. It's just waiting around for jets to come down. Other days it can be manic. You turn up just non-stop all day, just trying to get the jet serviceable.
The next pilot ready to go is 30-year-old Lieutenant Simon Rawlins. His dad was a pilot and his mum was an air stewardess, so it's in the blood.
I'm very, very lucky because the only thing I ever wanted to do was fly aeroplanes. Flying Harrier is pretty cool, to be honest with you. I really, really enjoy it. And there's an expression that pilots use that your worst day in the air is always better than your best day on the ground, so I tend to subscribe to that. This is the highest state of readiness that we can get the aeroplane in without physically applying power to it. So in the morning, we check in, we get into the cockpit, we put all the switches in the right place where we need them to be, and hang our kit on the side of the aeroplane, such that when the call comes, we can literally, from a stationary start, we can be gear up within about 15 minutes on a good day.
The Harriers carry a seriously scary payload.
The GR7 that we've got here, we've got 1,000-pound laser-guided bombs, so it has a fairly devastating effect on the ground. These are our rockets. We carry 19 of them in each pod, so 38 in total. And we can fire them in a variety of modes, either a couple at a time or all 38 at once if required.
These bombs can wipe out whole compounds.
First question they ask you when you join the Navy is, would you be prepared to push the button? And I remember when they asked me, I kind of thought, well, we were doing peacekeeping at the time, it was Bosnia. It was never really an issue, and I kind of just glibly said, yeah, of course I would. it kind of brings it home when you're actually out here doing it. But ultimately, if you couldn't do it, you're probably in the wrong job. I personally don't take any satisfaction out of dropping bombs on people or hurting people. However, the only time we employ these weapons is normally in defence of British lives, say guys in the army and the Marines, or coalition guys on the ground, and it's a last resort.
30,000 feet up, Tremors and Nick are above the village where troops have called in air support. But before they attack, they need to follow strict rules of engagement. If there are children or crowds on the ground, they're not allowed to bomb. Beneath the fuselage, there's a sniper targeting pod. Its powerful lens gives the pilot a close-up view of what's happening below. And it's clear they are not the enemy.
Nick and the other airplane quickly spotted the fact that quite a few of the moving people in this village were half the size of the others, which obviously means they're children. So great spot from him.
So they abort the mission, and the jets head back to base.
The sitch on the ground when we got there was basically it wouldn't have been appropriate for us to have waded on in. It turned out that there was a fairly busy road with a big traffic jam on it, quite close as well. So the ground troops moved in through the village, and as far as I can tell, they didn't actually find any of the bad guys. The bad guys, as is their wont, simply melted away, like they tend to around here.
There's not much downtime when you're living in a war zone. But when you are off duty, you might as well do something useful, like raise money for charity. At the British gym, the Naval Strike Wing are competing in a triathlon, officers versus engineers. It's all in a good cause, help for heroes. Pilot Tremors is leading the officers' team.
To be honest, anything we can do to help our own wounded, the boys will always pitch in. And also it gets some lads versus officers rivalry going, so that'll be good as well.
They've got to run 3 miles, row a mile, and then cycle 27 more.
That's it, finish it off now. 2, 1, 3, yeah!
And there's other distractions.
Hello.
Like the fishing pond.
Hello, Padre, how are you? Have they actually got fish in you?
We've been teaching other people to cast as they've been.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to go?
10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, so like that. Right, so that's the plan.
Not really good at this.
You'll feel it. The rod really.
Oh, that wasn't very good, was it? Catch our lunch. Hope you catch something soon.
But there's one thing Kate is good at, and that's shopping. Today's market day, where the local Afghans sell their goods.
Hiya. You're right.
First, a quick security check.
My picture.
It's not long till the girls are bartering.
45.
45?
Yeah.
35.
They don't exactly drive a hard bargain.
40? 45. It's up to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam.
Banana.
Kate wants to get souvenirs to take home to Wales.
I've got to get some pashminas. That's nice.
Look in the back side.
50?
Yeah, each is 25.
25. How much did you pay? 20. She paid 20.
This time round, she bags herself a bargain.
Thank you, Banana. Bye.
The market gives Kate a chance to practice her Arabic, because although she's from Wales, she's half Iraqi.
I never used to tell people when the Iraq War kicked off a few years ago, because some people didn't react very well to it. Some people just don't believe me, or they're just shocked, because I don't look Arabic. They just don't expect it. And other people will laugh and say, oh, have you been security cleared? It's just a good laugh, just banter and things. How much are these? 5 for 10.
The market is the only chance most of the troops get to mix with the locals.
How old is he? 6.
Oh, my little brother's 7.
Thank you. Thank you, Banana. I think it's good for the locals because even though it's cheap, you know, like 5 for $10, How many people in Afghanistan's going to have $10 to spend on pashminas? There's not. They're really, really nice people out here. They're so friendly.
He's lovely. How much for him?
I don't. The whole war thing's hard, really, because I don't think my view on it has changed from when I come out here to now. I don't know how much I really, even still being out here now, how much I actually agree with us being here, but we are, so you've just got to do what you've come out here to do. I think maybe he'll improve, and then we'll come out and he'll just go back to how it was again, because people have tried to do it so many times before we have.
At the other side of the camp, Faye Nunn's part of the 12-strong RAF armourers team. She works at the bomb dump. With so much weaponry on base, it needs to be stored somewhere away from the main camp.
This is basically where we keep all the bombs that are built up, ready to go over to the squadron. We build the weapons from scratch, basically. We put them all together. People are quite shocked a lot of the time, probably mainly because obviously I'm a girl, so it's not really a sort of female-orientated job.
She's the only female RAF armourer in Kandahar, and it makes a change for the rest of the lads.
I think they quite enjoy having a girl around most of the time, so yeah, it's good. It's good fun. It's good fun. I do miss a bit of female company every now and again. Some people find it quite exciting, some people find it quite disgusting in a way, you know. There's been occasions when you tell people what you do for a living and they don't seem too impressed about it, but at the end of the day, saving lives, really, in a way. I know in a way we're killing people, but it's our troops that are on the ground and we're going in supporting them and, you know, saving their skin, basically.
In the hangars, Harrier pilot Simon Rawlin has been called into action to help some Danish soldiers in Helmand province.
You are always nervous. I've been flying out here quite a few times now. I've got quite a few hours on the Harrier, and there is not a single time that I engage a target that I am not nervous.
Simon's heading to a village 90 miles west of Kandahar. The Danes are coming under heavy enemy fire. They urgently need air support, so he's got to get there fast.
Rounds complete, that target should be very obvious now. I think 6-7 rounds left there.
I'm 3.5 miles north of the target, heading west.
At the bomb dump, Faye's had a call to head to the airstrip with replacements in case Simon drops his load. She's got a laser-guided paveway bomb on board and a 2-vehicle escort, just in case.
Probably take us about half an hour to get over there. Quite a lot of the time you're having to pull off every couple of minutes because there's a C-17 or a TriStar, which is a bit daunting at first. So that's what scares me about driving down a taxiway with a bomb on the trolley showing behind you, and then you've got this massive Herc just coming at you. I'm not going to play chicken with a Hercules.
Faye's come up against another snag.
Joe's just given me a little beat, so I think the straps might be a bit loose. Just jump out and have a quick look. Whoops. See, women drivers shouldn't leave us in control of a vehicle. Okay. Right, good to go again.
Faye continues her cautious journey. 145 miles away in Helmand province, Simon's now above enemy lines.
When people are getting shot at, you can hear the fear in their voice sometimes, and their voice goes up an octave, people start screaming down the radios, and that's the time when you need to be really, really careful, make sure you're all talking about the right target, but then crucially get the weapons down as quickly as possible. The consequences of getting it wrong are massive.
Simon's using the sniper targeting pod that allows him to strike with deadly accuracy. Once he's released the paveway bomb, the pod fires a laser signal at its target, which bounces back, and the bomb locks onto the laser, readjusts its position, and strikes. This all happens in a split second. Simon reaches the battle scene. As soon as he gets the go-ahead from the troops on the ground, he drops the bomb, and the sniper targeting pod does the rest. The bomb travels at 4 times the speed of sound.
No, we're 5-3. That's a direct hit on suspect compound. Smoke obscuring, stand by for PDA.
Only 30 minutes since the call for help, the target's been engaged and destroyed. Mission accomplished. Simon heads home, minus 1 bomb.
Rocks up on the scene, and they were taking a lot of fire from a compound, and so we ended up dropping on that compound, which apparently did the job, stopped the fire. I don't particularly enjoy blowing up compounds, to be honest with you. It's not really what we're about, but you know, I suppose ultimately at the end of the day, you know, we help the coalition troops stop the guys who are in trouble. So yeah, mixed emotions really. But
Faye's arrived with a replacement bomb. These laser-guided missiles cost £50,000 each.
the guys obviously are now just going to reload the weapon on from the one that was dropped earlier on. So they're now reloading that. As you can see, they do it very quickly. And then this aeroplane will be ready to go again, if required.
Makes kind of all the hard work worthwhile, really. At the end of the day, you've helped some of the troops that are out there on the ground, you know, that are, you know, they've been out there struggling in a fight or whatever, and we've gone in and helped them out, which, yeah, it does make you feel good.
Andy Fryer's the commander of Kandahar Airfield, also known as COMCAF. He's an RAF man, but NATO's put him in charge of overseeing troops from 28 different nations on the base. It's a tricky job.
Although there are close to 13,000 people, only 650 of them actually work for me. So trying to get things lined up is a question of it's more negotiation than command. Almost every day a VIP to host, and then really a series of meetings, from the interesting to the dull.
But today's an interesting one, because Andy's going to meet one of his heroes.
This morning we've got General Petraeus arriving. As far as the Americans are concerned, he's the commander that runs this part of the globe, so a very important person.
And Andy's leading the welcoming committee.
Ah, there's nobody here.
But he can't find his entourage.
We have got out there and found that the VIPs already arrived and gone, so trying to find out exactly what's happening is a bit of a challenge. OK. I'll go out, salute them, welcome to Kandahar as the commander. That's my role to do that. And then quite often I'll just hand them over to their national representative, which is what happened this morning. One of the problems with meeting VIPs out on the ramp is knowing which part of the ramp the airplane's going to park in, because it's huge. What's the word on timing?
Left on time.
OK, that's fine. I haven't seen him yet, but he'll be coming in from that direction. Yeah, that's almost certainly him. Let's see, it's a C-130.
Military planes tend to come in one shade of grey, so it can be a bit confusing.
Actually, that's a Canadian aircraft. So that may not be it. That's not him. That's US. See, that's American. See the flash on the tail? They are like buses. You don't see one for an hour, and then you see two within 5 minutes.
Andy's big moment is near, but he's feeling confident.
When I was more junior, I would be nervous. But you quickly realise that generals and air marshals, they're just people. Ralph, do you know if you come off the front or the back? I don't know. OK, we'll watch for him.
General Petraeus is one of the most important soldiers in the world. He's in charge of over 200,000 US troops in the Middle East and was responsible for the big surge into Iraq in 2007.
Hello, sir. Andy Fryer. Very nice to meet you. Very well. I'm COMCAF. Very warm welcome here.
Well, thank you very much. Good to be here. It is warm. I'll follow me, sir.
You will?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, we'll follow you then. Okay.
General Petraeus is en route to London, where he'll be meeting Andy's boss, the Air Chief Marshal.
You'll have met before, no doubt.
We have reported a few times. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, you can tell him we're on the case, sir.
Okay.
So everything's looking pretty good.
Attack helicopters and all that?
Send more helicopters of all kinds.
Okay, good.
So,
Good.
all right, sir.
Great.
Nice to see you.
Okay.
So, I did feel a bit nervous, actually, after all that. Yeah, that's quite an honour, really. I mean, he'll be a man whose name will be known for years. So to have met him in Afghanistan, that's quite a privilege. Yeah. It's one for the album there. I'll try and get Andy to take a picture of anybody that's sort of historic. So not often you get to meet General Petraeus.
The base is home to some classic military aircraft. The Harrier, the Chinook and the Hercules have all been around for over 40 years. But there's a new kid on the block. The RAF's latest addition to its fleet, the Reaper. It's an unmanned aerial vehicle, or UAV, a remote-controlled warplane that's operated from the ground by a real-life pilot. The RAF has a small fleet of UAVs in Kandahar, and the guys responsible for them are well aware of their controversial reputation.
One of the biggest problems we have to deal with is perceptions. I think people have a view that this is some sort of robot machine, some airborne killing drone. It has very negative connotations. This is another warplane, just like the Harrier is, just like the Hercules is. It flies to exactly the same rules. The only difference is that the pilot isn't sitting in it. He's sat there, relative safety, on the ground.
Mike's the pilot who's in charge of taking off and landing the Reaper.
We've got a 12-hour day, 7 days a week for 4 months, without a break unless we get bad weather.
Once it's in the air, Mike hands over control to another pilot, who's 7,000 miles away at a US airbase in the Nevada desert. Weighing in at just half a ton, the Reaper has a wingspan of 64 feet and a V-shaped tail for extra stability. It's driven by a turboprop engine, giving it a speed of 250 miles per hour. Underneath the nose is a powerful camera that beams clear images of the ground from 20,000 feet.
We can look from many miles away and look at individuals and give us the advantage of knowing what the insurgent is up to before he knows where we are.
The weapons are tucked under each wing. There's a mix of Hellfire missiles and GB-12 laser-guided bombs.
Did the previous crew get clearance for RTB Flight Level 200?
The Reaper's come to the end of its mission, so the pilot in Nevada hands over to Mike in Kandahar for the landing.
We're just about to pick up the aircraft. We're getting something. All right, that's us just taking the aircraft from Nevada.
It looks like a simulator, but he's landing a £10 million plane.
I do think I'm flying. You get absorbed, you're flying a mission. Apart from you're not pulling G, that's the only difference. The heart rate's up, the adrenaline's going. You know the implications if you get it wrong are severe because there's a lot riding on it, obviously.
Mike's relying on monitors to guide him in.
So a 2D image, it's difficult to get a feel if you're sinking or whether you're drifting. So yeah, that's probably the biggest challenge, is landing it safely. And then just trying to keep your speed, dealing with updrafts, downdrafts, changes of airspeed. You have to be quite proactive with the throttle.
Its lightweight design means one wrong move can spell disaster.
It's really unforgiving. The accidents that have happened, they haven't looked too dissimilar to a normal approach, and and then suddenly you're in trouble. That's why we're so apprehensive every time we're on the approach.
But it's not home and dry yet.
The second hardest thing to landing it is taxiing it. And that is it. Done. Paperwork, lunch, gym, bed. And so the routine continues.
It's certainly the future, and we're looking at all sorts of other concepts as well. Whether it's the end of the manned jet's time, we'll tell.
There are 14,000 people living on the base, so making sure there's enough food for them all is a major operation.
We probably go through, per meal, something like 250, 300 kilos of potatoes. Biggest sellers? Always chicken. Chicken always, everywhere, any way you like. You know, we can cook it 240 ways, and they'll eat it 240 ways.
5,000 chickens are eaten every day, and they all have to be transported here. They're stored along with the rest of the food in a massive warehouse, the size of 3 aircraft hangars. It's run by a private contractor, and Andy Fryer's come to have a look.
We store over 2,500 pallets of product here, all kept at a constant temperature of 18 degrees.
There's an enormous amount of coke here, actually. It's amazing, actually, how much fizzy pop there is here. Almost everywhere I can see at this level. Yes. Do we buy anything locally?
No product is purchased locally. It's all the product that has to be EU approved. Yeah.
They try to cater for every nation's taste. Sauerkraut, Tabasco, and loads of ketchup.
I've never seen so much ketchup in all my life.
And always plenty of baked beans.
Yes. Oh, yes.
In the middle of the desert, you need the mother of all fridges.
So what have we got in here, then?
A lot of fresh eggs, a lot of cheese, some chocolate bars, and your yogurts and custards.
An Englishman always needs his custard.
The workers in the freezer section are limited to 45-minute shifts, because in here it can get as cold as -23 degrees.
Considering here we are in the middle of Afghanistan, to be able to have the variety and quality of food that we do is just extraordinary.
Most of the food gets to the base by truck. The 1,200-mile route the drivers take is one of the most dangerous in the world. They pick up the loads from the port in Karachi in Pakistan and then drive via Peshawar and through the Khyber Pass down to Kandahar. In December 2008, the Taliban destroyed hundreds of trucks on their way here. And most of the vehicles that make it to the airbase have their battle scars.
If you look here, you can see bullet holes in the side of this container. This is just a typical truck that ships up food from Karachi for us. And if you go around to the front of this, you'll see bullet holes in the front of the vehicle, just below where the driver sits. So there are drivers risking their lives every day to deliver food and fuel.
But the drivers are prepared to take the risk, because one delivery can earn them over a month's wages.
You think, yeah, it is too dangerous. What I do, I have 10 guys in my family. It is my duty, it is my responsibility to support all my family. If I don't work, so what I eat?
Over 200 drivers have been killed in the last 2 years, so there's a price to pay in all this.
It's party night for the Naval Strike Wing. They're celebrating one of the most important dates in the Navy calendar, the Battle of Taranto, when the Royal Navy launched the first all-aircraft naval attack in history on the Italian fleet in Taranto Harbour in 1940. Harrier pilot Tremors is hosting the show.
What we're going to have tonight is a lads versus officers with a few guests as well, sort of Taranto. It's a knockout, as it were, with various events designed around the battle. So they're all themed games, but essentially it's just an opportunity for the guys to unwind.
First, the officers get dressed up to tell the lads the story.
The battle itself commenced at 22:58. The flare droppers and the bombers hit the oil tanks on the eastern side of the harbour, which actually lit it up and allowed the following aircraft to home in. 3 of the torpedo bombers...
Next up, Pilot Bolly plays an Italian sailor, complete with authentic accent. Well, sort of.
I think the only aircraft the British have is the Swordfish torpedo bomber. It is a very, very old biplane, so very slow.
Now, time for some fun.
The game's basically navigating to Taranto around various obstacles. The boys are going to be blindfold, under fire from other teams.
Believe it or not, there's no alcohol on base, so they're doing this stone cold sober.
Right, the final game of the evening is a reconstruction of the battle itself. You have 30 seconds starting now.
There's one other celebration. It's engineer Archie's birthday, but instead of the usual sing-along, his mates have chosen his favourite song.
Look in her eyes. She's out of my league. Just a fool to believe I have anything she needs. She's like the wind.
Admin clerk Kate Aziz has good reason to celebrate. Her time in Afghanistan has come to an end.
Got told a few hours ago that I'm on tonight's flight, so I'm just packing, getting my stuff sorted. Oh, I didn't even know where to start though, because I've got so much crap. Loads of stuff for my family in here, and t-shirts and things for them, perfume, stuff off the market. So they'll have something from Afghanistan.
To mark every soldier's tour at Kandahar Airfield, they're awarded a NATO medal.
Emergencies took part in the Help for Heroes charity cycle, helping raise £2,000 sterling for a worthwhile and diversion cause. She returns to RAF Honington on the 24th of November. Emergencies.
Everything is so full on out here that getting back and having time to relax and things like that, I think that's going to be strange. Lovely, thank you. When you're getting rocketed, and they are getting closer than what they were when I first got out here, and now people are getting hurt, and they seem to be a bit more on target. It is a bit worrying, so I'll be glad to get away from that. You can just go to bed knowing that you're going to wake up and everything's going to be the same in the morning. I suppose I've been here sort of nearly 4.5 months now, and you get really close to people, and I am going to miss it. I'll probably cry.